That's the protocol that it works.
Right. So good evening. I'm going to call the Wednesday, May 13th Southborough School Committee meeting to order. And the first order of business is to welcome the newest member of the committee. So welcome, Kelly. And congratulations on your victory, the annual town election. And we look forward to partnering with you and welcoming you to the great work that we do. So the first order of business is nomination of a chair of the Southborough School Committee meeting for the 26-27 school year, and I will entertain any nominations.
I'd like to nominate Chelsea Malinowski for chair.
All right, so we have a nomination. All right, anyone want to make a motion? All right,
I move to nominate Chelsea to be the chair of the Southborough School Committee.
Any discussion? Second, and no discussion? All in favor? Congratulations,
Thank you.
Chelsea.
I'll abstain for the record. All right, thank you, everyone. And Kelly, welcome to Southborough School Committee. We all look forward to having you alongside of us. So next we need to vote a vice chair. So I'll entertain a motion for someone for vice chair.
I'll move we nominate Laura for vice chair.
Okay, I second.
Laura Kaufman,
All
sorry.
right, seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay,
Can I abstain?
you can stay. All right, congratulations, Laura. And then we need to nominate a secretary. Yes.
I'll move we nominate Kelly Kaufman,
Okay,
secretary.
is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, great. Thank you very much. Next is the election of the superintendency union number 3. So this is, we need to nominate 3 members from Southborough, and then Northborough will also nominate 3 members, and then all the members of the union are also on the superintendency. So that's 10 plus 3 from Southborough, 3 from Northborough, so there's 16. Now, typically, all 20, or 19 if you have a duplicate, members participate in superintendency activities. That's just kind of custom to what we do. But in the joint meetings with Northborough, Southborough, and the region and the superintendency, there's 3 members from Southborough who get a vote on the superintendency votes, and then 3 members from Northborough and the entire region. You look like you have a question.
Well, are all the regional members in the superintendency union?
Correct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm new at this.
I didn't realize.
So.
I thought it was combined at 10 and 6, and they did, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So every other year, the it flips between Northborough and Southborough in conjunction with the regional chair on who leads the joint meetings. So this year is Southborough's turn to be the opposite, to lead the joint meetings with the regional chair. So Northborough was this year, I think it was Lauren that did it from Northborough, and Jen Primack from the region. And so then next year it will be Northborough regional chair and Southborough K-8 school committee. So we need to identify 3 of us. Typically, it's the chair, vice chair, and then you can make it the secretary. I know the last time Southborough was up, Roger, you were chair, I was vice chair. So we kind of switched it, and then obviously it was Northborough's turn, so we just identified the 3 members for last year. So do we want to do chair, vice chair, secretary, or just Alan or Roger, would you be interested in doing the superintendency?
I mean, are you interested in doing it, Ellen, or not?
I did it last year, right?
You did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind continuing to do it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to do it as well,
Okay.
but I'm indifferent.
You good?
I'm good. You wanna do that?
I think you have.
All right, so I'll move that I serve as the chair for the superintendency, Laura serves as the vice chair, and Alan serves as the secretary for superintendency. Does that work,
Second.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? All right, great, thank you. And really, one of the main roles of the superintendency superintendency union is the superintendent's evaluation. So that's kind of the major, I would say that's the major task, other than leading the meetings, which is also,
And hiring the superintendent,
right,
evaluating the superintendent.
right,
So that evaluation that we just received
Yes.
this year,
yes.
that would be the three of us that would combine?
So
to-
everybody does it,
Okay.
but this year Lauren and Jen are the ones that like compile
Oh, do
everything and work with Cheryl. Like it's like it's a pretty big lift.
Yeah. With all the data probably going through.
Yeah, right. And like to meet with Greg on his goals and like then every 6 months you do your mid-year review in addition to the end of the year review. So it
Mm.
can take up a decent amount of time.
No,
I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I'm
I
just.
haven't paid attention, but there's no change. Both Jan and Lauren are still committee members, correct? Because some years, what happens is
Yeah,
a committee member will not rerun, and then you
Correct.
get into this period where,
right,
okay, so
Mhm.
that's good then.
yeah. So we should be covered there. Okay. Great. Thank you. All right, so now on to our regular part of our meeting. And public comment. So if anybody has any comment, feel free to raise your hand. Thank you. Principals report. Kathleen.
Thank you. So we'll start with Finn. The first photo is of the 5th Annual Early Childhood Fair held on May 9th at the Finn School. It was a great success thanks to the efforts of preschool administrator Jennifer Henry. The event featured a variety of local vendors and community organizations, giving families the opportunity to explore resources and connect with programs that support early childhood development. A highlight of the day was the lively entertainment of Vinnie the Bubble Guy, who delighted in attendees of all ages. A special thank you goes out to everyone involved in organizing and supporting this meaningful tradition. Photo 2 is some of the seedlings growing in a Finn kindergarten classroom. Finn kindergarten students have been enthusiastically exploring the life cycle of plants through hands-on learning experiences in the classroom. Students recently planted pumpkin and other vegetable seeds and are carefully monitoring their growth each day. As part of this exciting science investigation, students are observing changes over time and recording their learning through journals, drawings, and written reflections about their planting experiences. This annual engaging curriculum unit helps students develop a deeper understanding of how plants grow while also strengthening their observation, writing, and scientific thinking skills. And in photo 3 is an example of the signs of appreciation. This one in the Finn lobby. The Finn SOS community put together a staff appreciation week. Mr. Ryan and the Finn staff would like to express their heartfelt thanks for the generosity, creativity, and kindness of our amazing Finn SOS parent group, room parents, and volunteers. Throughout the week, staff members were treated to thoughtful surprises each day, from teachers and staff arriving to beautifully decorated classroom doors filled with appreciation posters to delicious breakfasts and lunches, to tasty afternoon beverages and meaningful staff gifts. Every detail reflected the tremendous care and gratitude of our school community. The Nearing, Woodward, and Treadier staff would also like to thank our SOS for an incredible show of appreciation last week. Woodward is excited to share a new addition to the cafeteria, a big, bright, and beautiful mural that brings color and energy to the space. Woodward partnered with local artist Blind Fox to design an inspiring and an engaging piece of artwork that all students can enjoy each day. During the design process, students were surveyed to help shape the mural, offering input on elements such as colors, patterns, and school-based activities and sports. This collaborative approach ensured the final design reflects the interest and spirit of the Woodward community. The installation took place over April vacation, and the mural was waiting for students when they returned. Their surprise and excitement upon seeing it for the first time was truly infectious. A special thank you is extended to Ali Alphonse and Taylor Coughlin, who led the installation work and helped bring the vision to life. Photo 2, on Friday, May 1st, Woodward students and families gathered at Woodward School for Glow Dance that brought the community together for an evening of fun and connection. Students and their families had a wonderful time enjoying music and entertainment by DJ Mike, creating a lively and welcoming atmosphere for all who attended. Events like this highlight the strength of the school community and the importance of coming together outside of the classroom. Woodward would like to extend their thanks to the SOS for organizing this event. And on photo 3, on Wednesday, May 6th, Woodward held its annual Arts Night, welcoming nearly 800 students, educators, families, and community members for an evening of celebration and creativity. Guests enjoyed an impressive student art exhibit, a musical and literary showcase where students performed with confidence and enthusiasm. Thanks to the generous support of the SOS, attendees also enjoyed a sweet treat and time to connect at the Trombetta's Ice Cream Social. We're really looking forward to next year. On to you. In photo 1, nearly 5th grade students recently completed a biography bottle project in Mrs. Saldo and Mrs. Finnegan's rooms. It's an exciting blend of reading, research, creativity, and public speaking. Each student selected a person who inspired them, explored that individual's life and accomplishments, then transformed the bottle into a creative representation of their chosen figure. After finishing their design, students shared what they learned by giving an oral presentation to their class. The projects were on display during conference week and received many compliments on their likeness to the person they represented. Photo 2, Neary students recently participated in an engaging and informative fire safety assembly led by Captain Brittany Doan of the Southborough Fire Department. During this presentation, students learned essential safety skills focused on 3 key areas: the importance of working smoke alarms and having a clear home escape plan, safety practices in the kitchen to prevent fires, and strategies for staying safe when home alone. Captain Doan emphasized simple but critical habits such as checking smoke alarm batteries regularly, identifying 2 ways out of every room, and choosing a safe meeting place outside. Students also discussed how to respond calmly in emergency situations and when to call 911, and how to avoid common hazards like unattended cooking or opening doors to strangers. The assembly reinforced practical, age-appropriate steps students can take to stay safe and encourage families to continue these important conversations at home. And finally, Neary student Sophie Stacy demonstrated remarkable courage and composure when she made a heroic call to the Southborough Fire Department to report a small basement fire in her home. According to Captain Doan, Sophie remained calm and collected, clearly communicating the situation, and stayed on the phone with them until help arrived. In recognition of her bravery and quick thinking, Sophie was honored with a ride to school in a Southborough fire truck, received a medal and an official commendation for her brave actions that day. And try here. Photo 1, our first event highlights the outstanding work of our 6th grade ELA teachers through the project-based assessment connected to the novel, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Students were tasked with identifying an invention, development, or solution to a problem that reflected the theme of perseverance, innovation, and community impact found within the book. Students then presented their projects to families and community members in a showcase format. Trotty was very proud to welcome approximately 80 to 85 family and community members to this event, which created an authentic audience for student learning and celebration. Mr. Hershak would like to thank Mrs. Morris, Ms. Ferrara, and Ms. Penzone for their outstanding work in organizing and facilitating this meaningful experience for students. Second event was the annual Crepe Day. It's a celebration which is a wonderful Trotter tradition that celebrates world language learning and culture. Mr. Hershak would like to thank Mr. Drake for hosting this after-school event for our French and world language students. Students enjoyed a crepe from Worcester Creperie, while participating in a variety of hands-on activities, arts and crafts, and trivia connected to world language and culture. The event provided students with an engaging and memorable cultural experience. And lastly, photo 3, Trottier's drama production of Myth Understood was a tremendous success. The production included a special dress rehearsal performance for Nearing and Woodward students, followed by 2 performances over the weekend for the broader community. Thank you to Mrs. Morris and Mrs. Pinzone for their hard work and dedication throughout the production process. More than 50 students participated as members of the cast and crew, showcasing not only their theatrical talents on stage, but also their technical and creative skills behind the scenes. The performances highlighted the confidence, collaboration, and commitment to our students and staff. All 3 events are excellent examples of strong sense of community at Trottier Middle School and would not be possible without the dedication, creativity, and hard work of the Trottier staff.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I have a quick question. What grade level read the boy who harnessed the wind?
Grade 6.
I got to see the play on Saturday, and they just impress me every time I go and see students perform. I think they're just so talented, and I didn't realize it was 50 students, but if you think about all the kids who are helping with the lights and the sound and the music and all the choreography that goes on, it's pretty impressive. So congratulations to the Trottier team for putting that together. It was great. All my kids loved it too. So I think the fact that we can, again, intermingle the elementary kids with the middle school kids by coming to Trottier, I think that's awesome. So, you know, a lot of effort probably goes into getting the buses and coordination. So, anybody else have anything they want to say? Okay. The elementary building committee update. Present.
So a brief update, the select board on May 5th did vote to approve the designer selection of TAPE. So right now the elementary building committee is working on contract negotiations with the design firm and working on scheduling the first meeting to really launch the work around what will the next generation of NERI look like in terms of a building. So that is a brief update.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Whitson's food service update.
So I'll turn it over to Keith.
Great. So thank you. I have a couple of things to share with the committee. First is there are 2 documents in your packet. One is a memo to Greg highlighting the financial position of where we are, coupled with the contract, which would get us through the 26-27 school year. So, as you know, this is the first year of our contract with Whitson's Culinary Group, and under DESE requirements, the school committee must vote annually to renew the contract with the option of up to additional 4 years of a renewal. So no more than 5 years can be given towards one company for the purpose of this contract. And last month we did discuss some operational programmatic progress, but we are able to share more of the financial position of where we stand with the food services program. And I do want to thank Becky and her team for their work of ongoing tracking of where our position is, where we land, and where we're kind of forecasting ourselves for the remainder of the year. So through the first 3 quarters of the fiscal year 2026, which is March of 2026, the program is showing a net loss of approximately $58,939. There are a few key drivers behind this. First, as a one-time decision to support the town's 2026 budget, the district covered food services employees' health insurance through the revolving account. That cost is about $57,900 a year to date. Second, we transitioned to a new organizational model this year, which included sharing leadership across the 3 districts, adding a general manager, a field manager, and a dietitian to our team. And third, we implemented a change requiring all food services employees to attend 4 professional development days. While many staff participated in the past, making this mandatory, it did increase overall costs. On the revenue side, overall sales are generally in line with last year, but we are seeing a 20% decrease in adult meals, a la carte sales, and catering. It is also important to note that food services programs typically run a deficit during the year since state reimbursement is received later or after those expenses are incurred. And we are all seeing those losses being narrowed as the year progresses and us getting the reimbursements that we were mandated to get. We have been meeting regularly with the Whitson's team to monitor the financials and to continue to do this for the remainder of the school year. Most importantly, the contract includes a guaranteed return provision. This is something we did discuss last year, just as we went into the first year contract. If the program does not achieve a surplus of $19,312, Whitson's is required to cover the difference of that so we can have that guaranteed return. That's what it was called. It's what it's called within the contract. So as we look ahead, our focus for the remainder of the year, the final quarter, is to work on stabilizing the operation. We've gotten some parent feedback, which has been very helpful. We are finalizing a catering program that we're using for some end-of-year activities and making sure we continue to fill open positions. And also, as we go into the final quarter of the year, we are a renewed focus on student participation, which is huge. Expanding the promotions that Whitson's is able to provide and incorporate more local purchasing, which we are seeing that more and more as we get into the final quarter menus. So as part of the renewal, Whitson's has proposed a 3.9% increase, which is tied to the Consumer Price Index. This results in a very modest adjustment. The administrative fee will increase from 5 cents a meal to 5.2 cents per meal, and this will be for the 26-27 school year. And then there is a management fee, which will increase from 11.6 cents per meal to 12.1 cents per meal. So as a result of this and the positive direction that we are heading, now there are things that absolutely need to be improved. We do recommend to the school committee approving the second year of the Whitson's contract, and we can start preparing for the 26-27 school year accordingly. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I had a question. What is the staffing challenge at Neary that's mentioned in the operational challenges?
We had some turnover earlier in the year. We were able to stabilize it. Kathleen had to put a hairnet on too many times. But ultimately, we had to do some stabilization of that staff. We have found that. We have a cafeteria manager there now, but that took, when, November? Yeah, so we had, the first quarter of the year was a little rocky for Neary, but we were able to get on track by November. That in combination with Whitson's being new was a combination of factors that made things challenging, but we were able to overcome that with a good hire.
Roger.
I have a question on the expenses and the reimbursement
Yep.
by the state. So this says in a typical year, expenses exceed revenue.
Mhm.
Now, does that mean they lead the revenue reimbursement because it closes out pretty closely by the end of the year? Or
Correct.
what does that mean?
What it means is that the reimbursements that we get from the state or the Fed follow
Right.
the invoices that are there. So we're constantly playing this catch-up game of breaking even or getting ahead. And usually it's around this time of year where we start to see that, division come together and we start seeing those profit margins on any typical year.
And do we account for it, what, on a cash basis? In other words, you don't book the reimbursement based on the fact that you sent the invoice, okay? Okay, so, and is there any lag into the following year?
No, there is not.
Okay,
Usually
that's
things
not a
get tied
problem.
out and closed out by the end of June,
Okay.
very beginning of July. So we do have time over the summer to really dig in, to do those analyses and make sure we're in a good position for the next school year.
I don't remember, but how did we end up last year?
In the black,
Okay,
pretty favorably.
thank you.
Yep. but with the changes this year, especially with the addition of the staff and some of those other drivers like the professional development days, the additional administrative staff with the field manager, a general manager, and a dietitian, and then also helping with the health insurance, that's what made us put us into a loss into the current position.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I have a bunch of questions on this.
Sure.
So in the budgeting process,
Mhm.
we did put the benefits back on the town budget?
Correct.
Okay, and that was like clear in, like on the town side?
It was.
Okay. For the à la carte decreasing,
Mhm.
is that the high school and the middle school?
More the middle school. This
Okay.
is Southborough
Okay.
specific. We did see a decrease at the high school as well.
Okay.
But we did see it here at Trotter. There was changes in the offerings, kind of a little lag in getting it started is probably what
Okay.
we saw. They're making some recovery now, but I don't think it's going to recover the full way to the position it was in last year. So I think a lot was learned with that,
Okay.
taking from what we were doing prior and making those adjustments, although making sure that all those items were compliant. They were before, but they weren't preferred this year, throughout the year. So just
Okay.
making adjustments with the selections, more conversations with kids about what they want, I think is
Mhm.
necessary. And this is all feedback we've given to the Whitson's team.
Okay, so, and I haven't been through this as a parent yet,
Mhm.
so I have no idea. So incoming sixth grade, like
Mhm.
this is a totally different model with
Yeah.
having an à la carte option.
Right.
This class of kids never had any charging
Right.
capabilities because they were
Right.
COVID
Right.
2020, right?
Yes.
So can we try to emphasize any sort of role, because I bet you, I mean, I don't think my kid has any setup to do charging,
Sure.
right? So making sure that that incoming class knows what to do.
That's absolutely. So I have had conversations with Principal Hershek with that as well, the CAF
Okay.
manager, Lee Rondo here, about making sure my school bucks accounts are created and are
Yeah.
populated and good communication goes out for readiness for the start of the year.
Okay.
Especially in sixth grade. We do it again in ninth.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what is Whitson's plan for increased interest in their programming? So I think we heard a lot of, we're gonna try this, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So what is their plan to, like, my expectation was that this would be an improvement,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just not hearing that from students,
Mhm.
or parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to know what their plan is.
So I think they started the year with a splash. Like all of it was new. A lot of different menu items. The novelty of some of those wore off. They weren't ones that necessarily recycled into, the common menu. I think
Yeah.
that's the ebb and the flow of this. Is that as new things are tried, it doesn't always take on the first or second try. Sometimes it takes multiple tries. What I believe is needed more is getting feedback from kids about why they're not selecting some of these items, because there are a variety of choices. That part, I think, needs to be established with a little more routine and regularity, so they can then inform and hopefully improve participation.
Okay.
I think they also need to do more things like samples. Instead of putting something on the menu, why don't you sample it?
Yeah.
Not like, mall courtyard, I'm thinking that
Yeah.
type of thing, but similar in a way where we can get some student interest in what they would want to see.
Okay. What improvements have been made for breakfast?
Breakfast. Definitely the variety of options have been improved. Warm options, not just
Okay.
cold or things like that. And weaving in the things we know kids like as well, muffins and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Making sure that all of those breakfasts are compliant and hitting all the meal components is a portion of that as well.
Mhm.
So that's really been hammered home from a compliance perspective. And the
Okay.
variety is there. It's not just the same things that are recycled.
Okay. And with the adult meals being down, have we received feedback from adults in the
Well,
building?
there really haven't been, the focus has really been on the kids in year
Yeah.
one. The adult menu has been few and far between, only selected times. So getting
Okay.
getting to a more of a regular cycle with what we had before, offering a salad with a grilled chicken was something that
Okay.
was more regular with our prior program. And that's something that has been promised, hopefully trying in the final quarter, but certainly for the start of the next school year.
All right. Are there any capital requests that we've gotten from Whitson's?
Plenty. No, well, prior to Whitson's taking over, we had worked on a really good comprehensive capital plan. We knew where our equipment
Yeah.
was. One of the things we wanted to see in year one is where we were going to land financially. So can
Right.
we do some investing in that equipment? Because as we're reporting now, we aren't seeing those margins as
No.
high as we would like. We're hesitant to diving into anything major, but I do forecast larger capital projects on a horizon shortly, and they are as well. So we have done a couple walkthroughs, analysis of kind of where we are. We have had more maintenance costs this year because things have been used in the kitchens a lot more in the
Yeah.
last 3-5 years. We're just starting to see that wear and tear. So
Okay.
yes, we will see capital items appear shortly.
Okay.
But those will be taken care of through the revolving account.
Yeah,
We're not anticipating any of those getting onto the capital plan. I don't want to say never, but
Yeah,
the hope is
you
that we
can.
can absorb 95+% of it with the revolving account.
okay. So the dietitian role,
Yes.
have we seen results in terms of like making sure that we're hitting the food groups that we should be hitting and the portion size and kind of how is that all playing in?
That to me, and certainly that's not stuff that you see, that's the stuff behind the scenes. I think that's where been our biggest gain. Diane, who is our dietitian, is servicing all 3 districts. She's reviewing all menus, she's building the menus, she's
Okay.
part of it. She's working with the team at Whitson's to make sure if we're adding anything, it is compliant. She's put a lot of effort on specialty items to make sure that they fall within. She's really taken, a very passionate role in making sure that those things are taken care of. So I would say from behind the scenes perspective, we've never been in a better position.
Okay. And my last question.
Sure.
Is our wellness policy changed for the field days and whatever is coming up for every school?
Yeah.
Have we woven Whitson's in to make sure that we have smart snacks for popsicles or whatever, that we're not going to have any hiccups with like SOS groups and?
Yeah, that has been a little bittersweet. So ultimately, yes, the compliance, the connection with Whitson's is absolutely there.
Okay.
One thing that was missing from our prior practice is compliance with the National School Lunch Program.
Yeah.
So anything that is done by our district as an entity must follow the National School Lunch Program guidelines. That requires any catering, popsicle, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Has to have margins in there that include labor and all the other things. Things can't be given at cost anymore.
Okay.
We just went through a pretty significant audit this winter, both operationally and financially in Southborough, and that was something that was identified. We did give things out at cost prior to, so that is a correction with compliance that we're now on track with.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. But we're able to coordinate
Correct.
this
100%.
for June whatever is coming up and
Yes.
everybody's on the same page with like the process that we're doing and.
We did a lot of work
everybody's-
with principals to get them ready as we were
Okay.
getting into these things. Kathleen, as an example, has had conversations with Linda, our general manager, to make sure
Okay.
what is available, what's it gonna cost. You can, if you like.
Just because we have 5th grade farewell coming up.
Yeah.
So we had to meet, Diane's been very responsive.
Mm.
We-
The dietitian.
The dietitian,
Mhm.
we met and we talked about what lunch could look like within the guidelines.
Okay.
So she had a few suggestions. They could do a make your own pizza or a barbecue style lunch. So
Mm.
something different for our 5th
Okay.
graders that's celebratory. And then with our 5th grade committee, 5th grade farewell committee, we've been talking about whether we're going to do ice cream. She gave a great selection for ice cream. We
Okay.
also have connected with her on popsicles for field day.
Yeah.
Great.
So she's been very responsive and helpful
Okay.
and has some really good ideas.
Okay. And the policy as written will work for what you're looking to do?
It will,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, great.
I recall there was a meeting I was supposed to ask about popsicles, but I think that was one of the,
It's a hot topic, Roger.
yeah.
You know?
Now, a quick question, well, just remind me, there was a management change
Correct,
early in the year, at the beginning of
Correct.
the year, right? They changed the general manager? Or?
correct. The general manager was changed. right around Thanksgiving.
All right, so the request is that we extend the contract for our next school year. Anybody have any comments or questions on that?
Has there always been all this lobbying language in this type of contract? And
I'm sorry?
has there always been this?
It's an interesting
this
contract.
lobbying language and?
That is the DESI prescribed contract for these extensions, so that's one
Okay.
that every district throughout the Commonwealth that
Okay.
engages. They've done a lot to stabilize this system so it is unified. I think when they discovered it and they went to all, the contracts were all over the place, so they not only unified the whole RFP process, which we went through and we had to learn, also the contract and these extensions and laying that all out is all prescribed.
Okay.
So we try not to deviate from it too far.
I remember the popsicle was a policy meeting. It was a.
Yeah, it was the wellness
It was a
policy.
There's no
it was a
popsicle
there was a
clause in
policy,
there.
so, well,
It's not in this one.
I'm not sure if I failed.
And I'll just add one piece of information too. So in December of this upcoming academic year, we are going to make a recommendation whether or not to continue or continue with food services contract. We'll need time to adjust
Okay.
and pivot if that is the recommendation that we're making. So the fall and early winter will be really key in terms of Whitson's demonstrating that they can meet our expectations.
Okay.
Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know at Finn, they scan, the card, like the kids pass in the
Yeah.
cards for the food. I'm just wondering, generally, are you seeing this year compared to last, I guess, or between schools, are there more kids that are getting getting the lunch options, or just any trends?
The trends have, kind of evened out over the course of the year. They're not lower, but they're not necessarily higher. There are a couple places where they are, like Finn Breakfast is higher than it's ever been because of just how that whole operation's working. That's probably where the biggest plus that we've had. Everything else has been pretty stable. The good thing about the way that the operation is now working at Finn is we need to account for every student swiping because that meal is tied to that student. And that's how we get that reimbursement that lags, because reporting has to be due out on that and then we receive it back once it's been cleared. So even down to every lunch is basically every lunch is like going to the grocery store. Everything needs to hit the barcode. Yep.
Gotcha. Well, my son's thrilled with the lunch. Just
Is he? Yeah.
side
Good, I'm glad
commentary.
to hear that.
Every single day, he almost always gets the hot lunch, and it's a different variety of food. So I've personally, just from what
That's
he
great.
said, every day he tells me a totally different, foods he's never tried. So I mean, in our experience, it's been great.
That's
He's been
great.
Really
Glad
trying
to
a
hear
lot of
that.
great stuff. Yeah.
I'll share.
The other thing that Keith and Becky mentioned, which I think is true, is that because we have universal free meals, as families' budgets become tight, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of free lunch for students. So
And breakfast.
we are anticipating that we could see an increase this fall for breakfast and school lunch.
And that's one of the reasons why we want to keep ahead of the capital planning, because we don't want equipment to run out of gas on us.
Right. But if we did have something mid-year, because it's out of the revolving account, we would have the capability to
Yes.
replace on the fly.
Correct, and we have had to do that.
Okay.
Smaller items, you would know about if anything was larger.
Yeah.
But definitely like a warming cabinet, went on the fritz.
Okay.
We've had to do more maintenance repairs to the dishwasher unit at Finn as an example.
Yeah.
Things like that happened.
Yeah.
Have been popping up with a little greater frequency than we've seen in years past. And we're owing that a lot to wear and tear.
Okay.
What's the system for getting that student feedback, and what is the frequency that's going to be shared with us?
Great question, Kelly. I mean, that's been one of the things I've been really pressing Whitson's for. They, have done a variety of different things. I just think it needs to be done with more regularity. Even having our manager, Linda, going through the cafeteria and just checking in with kids and asking some of those more anecdotal type things. But even having basic surveys, like up on the wall, did you like things? And then they can put a little sticker on if they liked it. for the younger group, and then graduated up to what you would see at the middle school, and then more formal survey type things. Whitson's is right now in the process of turning around the results of the adult survey that went out for parents, and I'm expecting results on that actually within a day or so, and then that will then be followed up with something more formidable with the kids. And that's what I've been really pushing for, and I've been disappointed that hasn't happened more to this point. You're welcome.
All right. Are we ready to vote? All right, so I'll move that we extend the Whitson's contract for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Transportation update.
You didn't get rid of me yet? Okay, so including your packet is a memo. One correction on this, it is not accurate. This is from a prior update that was done, is, where is it? The live feed cameras, access will be granted shortly. We have been operational since mid-January on that with full access to the video, so that'll be, that we can strike. But everything else is 100% accurate. So to go to the top of the memo, operationally, service reliability, we were having a good year. I would say since October of 24, actually Halloween is the date I recall, the staffing levels at NRT were back on track. So if someone was out, we weren't having to double up. They had sufficient substitutes to fill those positions, and we have seen that carry through. I think we have not gone a day where we have had more than 2 drivers out. And if we do have 1 or 2 drivers out a day, the coverage is in place. And typically it's with someone that knows our town and knows our routes pretty decently and can fit in perfectly. So as far as operational interruptions and service interruptions, we are in a much better place and have been for the entire school year. Communication improvements. There has been a stabilization of staffing at the NRT office and people really knowing our towns. That has been helpful, and that is true across the district. The changes for this year, this is the first year, Kelly, just so you're aware, this is a first of a 3-year contract, a new 3-year contract with NRT. After these 3 years, we do have the opportunity to extend it if we wish, or we can go back out to bid. So in this new contract, we added a lot of technology. It's taken some time to get some of those things up and running, but for the most part, we are making progress. The place where we're not where I wanted to be is the RFID cards. The point of that was our students having a card very similar to what I have here to get on to the buses. They swipe to get on and they swipe to get off. That data then can be immediately live tracked by by the main offices, so we know when the kids get on the bus and when they get off. We are struggling a little bit with the onboarding of that. NRT's drivers were not ready for our latest round of that pilot, specifically for the Neary and Woodward school. It went much better at Finn, believe it or not, with the littles. Very excited about that. But for the Neary and Woodward crew, we've had a lag, and it's been mostly on NRT. I do want to thank Kathleen and Steam for their readiness. The kids were ready to go. The drivers weren't necessarily ready to go, and the buses weren't ready to go. So we've been kind of working that through. Is that a fair way of putting it?
It is, and I have to give credit to the teachers too. Because
Yes, no, good point.
They helped the students get them on the backpack, show them how it would work. I mean, it took a lot of effort on their part. So when students came out for our soft launch, they were prepared.
That's right. And so we're working through kind of like how it works. We're getting there. I think progress has been made in the last week and a half. We had an update meeting with them today. We hear there's still some things that need to be improved, so we'll continue to track that and then make sure that we're getting authentic, real good data that can be used if we ever were to need it. So that's something we're going to continue to report on as we continue to make this adjustment. But the other pieces of technology have been good. I did get anecdotally from the bus company today, the turn-by-turn direction. This was the GPS that's used So if a driver was subbing for another route they weren't familiar with, they don't have to look at a sheet of paper while they're driving. They are actually getting instruction from the GPS system. We had a sub driver on Monday, and she reported that it worked perfectly. In fact, she was told by the computer to go down the street. She wasn't sure, but it worked out. So it was giving accurate, good directions, and now she understands the route. And she didn't have to look at a piece of paper, which obviously improves the safety. And I think the highlight so far this year, I don't know if Kathleen would agree, is our access to the live camera feeds. That has been huge. It did come with a slight delay, but the benefits have been immediate. What we're finding now, if I or Kathleen, we need a section of the tape from a particular angle, we're getting that from within 24 hours. Sometimes it takes a little longer if it's a larger request, but we're getting that. Prior to having this access, it could take days. The other benefit is that if we were alarmed by something that we heard, we can log right on and watch the cameras live. So typically we hear about things after the fact, but if we hear of things before the fact, we might be able to get that information or at least track things as we go if we have a problematic bus. It is, and we have used that. A couple of principals have used that. They enjoy kind of watching footage and then being able to help students with meeting expectations on the buses.
They're called bus audits.
Bus audits, fair enough,
Logging
yes.
on live to see how kids are behaving.
But I do
Yeah.
think it's good that the kids know
100%.
Yes.
Well,
that this is being used now
Yeah.
so they will wave to me,
They do.
on the camera.
and maybe not,
Yeah.
because they know.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Very
good
helpful.
that we have that capability.
Question on the cameras?
Yeah.
So I have a question
Sure.
about the quality, you may not know the answer to this, about the quality of the cameras. I mean, are they at all similar to like the body cameras that the police use, or, I had a demo, interestingly, of that, but it was Northborough, not Southborough, but the quality and the clarity of these things are extraordinary.
I'm really impressed.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's so
Really.
clear, and the angles where they are on the bus, we can see every section.
There's no place to hide anymore.
No.
And you can hear too, I mean, you have
Yeah.
to listen carefully.
Yeah.
But the quality is exceptional.
That's great.
Because typically what would happen is we'd have the front camera, but we wouldn't get the back. Or we'd get the back and wouldn't get the front. Now we're getting these multiple angles. We can shift the angles, we can change them. And I have only had a couple instances where we weren't able to recover video to support a situation. And that's across the district.
I have a question on the swipes.
Yes.
So is that live information? So
Yes.
like a parent could call and say, can you just double check to make sure my kid made it on the bus?
You got it.
Like even in the morning, right? If
Correct.
you have, we're gonna roll this out to Trotter at some point?
I think so. We're trying to evaluate it. We got to get it on track.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but I don't know yet. We're going to have a follow-up conversation.
The reasons would be different.
The
Right.
reasons
It
would be
around
different.
ridership.
Well, right.
Who's on the bus, who's off the bus.
Well, I'm just
Correct.
thinking like
Yes.
they have more independence.
Yeah, for example, like our late bus.
Right,
Which kids are entering our late bus
Yeah.
and
yeah.
so it is something, again, I
Yeah,
agree
for
with Keith, we
different
need
purpose.
but probably a different.
We wanted to get it right first with the littles.
Yeah.
And then see how that went.
Yeah.
And then actually, Greg is absolutely right. What are the ways that we can really leverage it for the important things we're trying to keep track of
Yeah.
or control or understand? But to get to your original question, yes. If you were to call the office and say, hey, did Johnny get on the bus?
Yeah.
We can log on relatively quickly and we'll see, yep, at 8:02 he scanned on, you're good, you can go to work.
We also have the camera footage too.
And the camera footage.
Right.
And we also keep a paper copy, we check off every student that gets on the bus every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can reference.
On the dismissal.
We've maintained our PM dismissal practices in parallel to what the RFID is supposed to do for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Until we're confident, we're getting good info, maybe we'll adjust.
All right. So next year,
Mhm.
are we doing the same opt-in survey for busing and we're doing Finn and Woodward Neary together?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be no change in the configuration, and we will start the registration process, the opt-in process, right around probably the end of next week. I think the initial communication's going out, and then the
Okay.
deadline will be by June 12th, I think is what we've set so far. But I'll be sending out multiple parent squares so that people, take care of it. This is not a binding contract by any stretch.
Right.
People's, needs change throughout the year. We have a way of managing those, but this gives us a good sense of ridership for the upcoming year.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay,
Can I just add one?
go ahead.
So I think it's also important to note that the technology has been great, but also it didn't work on day one. We paid for this service on day one, so it was supposed to work. So, as Keith said, we had, a delay in getting the cameras installed. It's May, and we're still waiting for the RFID cards to work.
Right.
Their turn by turn was a challenge. So we are looking at the penalties that are outlined in the contract to make sure that, we don't pay for things that weren't in service and operational that were in the contract. So Becky and Keith and Sheila have been documenting that, and we will be having a conversation with NRT in June about what we believe is penalties that we will not pay as a result of some of these delayed
Through the chair on
installations.
this?
Yeah.
So are you saying that the RFIDs were supposed to work day one of the school year, not the calendar?
Yeah, my expectation
Okay.
was that this was a new contract with
Got
these
it.
technologies that were supposed to be up and running and working for day one, and they weren't. And we're still in the process of implementing these technologies. And they're an important part of our contract and are costly. These are not inexpensive solutions that we're deploying. And we haven't received the service that we paid for yet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
You're welcome.
Okay, approvals of grants donations. So I'll move that we accept the donation in the amount of $364.70 from Ahold Delhaize USA Incorporated to Trotter Middle School. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you for the donation. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, next we have, so Greg has sent out a communication to this committee as well as the school community as a whole that we're restructuring the position of Director of Student Support Services to be 3 positions, one for each district, rather than a singular central office position that oversaw all 3 districts. Algonquin's has already appointed or promoted an internal candidate, and Northborough and Southborough are running parallel processes right now. There's an interview day on Friday, and I had asked Roger to step in on the preliminary meetings just to get ready for that day. So I'd like to nominate Roger to be the school committee member who is representing us to go through the selection process. All right, any discussion? All right, great.
I'm good with that.
Thanks, Roger. All those in favor? Great, thanks, Roger.
Can I just make one note too?
Go ahead.
So that's not the only way to participate in the process. So this is the first round of interviews. Finalists that are moved forward by the search committee will have a second round of interviews with key members of the district, including the school committee. So there will be other opportunities to meet the candidates and weigh in.
Do we have an anticipatory number of candidates that we think would typically move forward to the next round in situations like this? I know this isn't,
Yeah.
science.
Yeah, in a typical search, I would say we often move 2 or 3. However, because we're running these 2 parallel and there's a lot of overlap, it's possible that it could be, I would be surprised if it's only 2. I would think that we'll probably move at least 3 people forward because we're really moving forward for 2 positions because there's so much overlap in the
Are you saying 3
candidates.
people forward from each of the groups that's doing the interviews?
It's going to depend if we move the same people forward.
Mm.
It's a more complicated process because they're
right.
overlapping, because every candidate who applied expressed interest in either district. And
A
yet,
few more for Northborough. So.
so we're,
It has not gone unnoticed that Stephanie's over in the Northborough group, okay? So
We gotta share, Roger.
Just
there's a lot of
full
behind the
disclosure.
scenes collaboration. So I think it turned out that we moved all the same people to the interview.
Yeah, I thought that was,
So, but
was
that was
interesting.
decided independently.
right? It was?
Right, and so now we're in the next phase where we're doing interviews. Each group will decide independently who they move forward. It could be that we move the same people forward and it's just 3 people. Or it could be that each committee moves 2 people forward and it's 4 people. So it's, or it could be that one person is,
Yeah,
there's a
so-
lot of ways it could go.
And we'll still be a Southborough interview committee
Right.
to the next round. The committee will decide, if it's 2 or 3 or 1 to move to the next phase, but that will be up to the Southborough
The Southborough committee.
hiring committee.
And then we're just working very closely so that it
Yeah,
works
schedule
for the
wise.
candidates, schedule-wise, and it works for Southborough to have the integrity of their process, and it works for Northborough to have the integrity of their process.
So if there's multiple candidates and there's overlap, then who has the final say on which candidate Southborough wants to,
Wants
Go
to,
with.
or would be recommended, because I think you're looking at him as far as who would recommend, right? Am I not incorrect about that?
So I'm confident what will happen is that we'll have in both screening committees, candidates who move forward, who have different leadership attributes and skills. And part of the work of the committee is really to think about fit, and the people who we move forward might be a great fit for Southborough and not a great fit for Northborough. So that will be the work of coordination at the central office level in the next round. So there'll be coordination on our part.
Yeah, the school, this is a situation which I mentioned over there, that the school committee, it's one of the few, I guess I'm going to say, employees
appointees?
that school committee appoints, as
Correct.
opposed to someone that's hired by the district, right?
Correct.
Just because
Yeah.
I guess there's a state law that basically mandates this.
Yes.
So, and I did discuss that at the meeting.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for doing that, Roger. Okay, Kathleen, would you like to go to enjoy your evening?
Sure.
All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last meeting was done by this time,
Seriously.
so, sorry.
I appreciate it.
It might have been done because of, the presentations about the different schools, that was, but I can't really remember that far back.
It might have been a little too.
All right, old business, annual town meeting recap.
So just feels like a long time ago,
Yeah.
but we have not had a school committee
That's
since.
crazy.
Just want to thank the people who participated in the town meeting process and supported the operational budgets, both in Southborough and for the regional assessment. Also, for passing the capital articles for the thin floor, security project, moving the Neary roof and the Trotter roof through the first phase of the approval process. So we're very appreciative, and last night, as you all know, at the annual town election, both the Neary roof and the Trotter roof ballot questions did pass, so we are excited to move those projects forward, working alongside with MSBA and Socotec.
Great, thank you. I think probably, there was obviously a lot of discussion around the security article for capital, and excited that passed and that we can start moving forward with a plan. So I would expect hopefully in our June meeting that we'll be able to potentially have an executive on that and start to move
Give an
forward.
update, sure.
With the plans. And then obviously figuring out a plan on how to roll out all the smart boards
Yes.
with Kathy and John this summer, I would presume.
Yeah, so we, Keith, Becky, and I are going to sit down probably early next week and map out all of the projects we have, because there are a number of pretty significant projects, and really do some project management around timing and when, so that we're realistic around what we can accomplish and what we can do well. So
Yeah.
that's work that we'll be planning in the next week or two.
All right, great. Thank you. Neary Roof Project, Socotec.
Speaking of capital projects,
Yeah.
also, with the approval of the town, which is very much appreciated, the bidding has already been in progress. We expect bids to be received for the new Neary roof on May 22nd. 2 weeks ago, we hosted a visit. We had about 8 to 10 contractors on site who were interested in it. It seems like a nice size job to kind of round out their summer plans. So once we are able to select a contractor, we were going to immediately meet about calendaring and laying out what the plan will be to execute the project. Do want to thank Socotec. They've been a great partner. The detail is there. They've been networking. They've been sharing this job out, really trying to garner that interest and understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm looking forward to the opening of the bids and seeing where we land and who our partner is going to be. And I believe that work is going to start, right after school ends, if all goes well with how they can calendar the project.
So timing.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume town finance director can start working on the bonds now that it passed at the ballot.
Correct.
So if we are expecting bids back next Friday,
Mm-hmm.
then when would we be ready to award a bid? And I assume that would have to come from school committee, that we would award a bid.
Yeah, so it's going to be shortly thereafter. The contract already been drafted.
Okay.
The standardized contract. Yes,
Yeah.
Becky's working on the bonding and everything like that. But yeah, we should be turnkey, in short order, within a couple weeks.
And Socotec is leading
Yes,
all
us
of
through
that
this
work for
project.
us, so
Mhm.
Okay.
they are.
So are we our next regular meeting's June 10th?
Mhm.
Like, are we thinking we need to do a special, I just want to make sure we're ready to go,
Yeah, I think we'll work with Socotec around, like, when
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
the bids come in,
Yeah.
going through the process, that will take some time.
Okay.
So I think my prediction is that June 10th is probably the right
Okay,
Yeah.
timeframe.
okay.
Yeah, I would
And
agree.
can we sign a contract before we have the, bond worked out? I don't know how that works, if we have to wait for Brian to finish his work, or if we can sign the contract, if we can figure those details out? I just,
So those are more
Becky,
a formula, so we can do that.
okay. All right, so we'll assume that the 10th works unless we hear from you.
Sure.
When is the combined meeting? Is that the 17th, next week?
Yes, the 15th is
think it's
Algonquin.
June 15th,
Yeah.
The 15th,
June 15th,
right,
yeah. But our regular meeting is the 10th.
right. What can that be?
I
Well,
think-
because
5 days
it's
after
it's a Monday. Well, because.
Monday and a Friday?
Well, no,
How can
no,
it
it's a
be?
Wednesday and then a Monday.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, all right.
But if we needed another meeting, at the combined meeting, we could.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we're all there,
Right. Okay,
probably quorum.
okay. All right, thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
All right, next is superintendent's report to the committee.
All right, so in your packet is the enrollment report. And the two areas I will focus in on are grade K and 1. And I'm not sure why this didn't come to me earlier, but we've been playing with 6 or 7 the whole time.
Oh, boy.
So, that's no longer in, so.
No, you're like 6 months delayed.
So we will be having, right now we have 116 kindergarten students enrolled. We plan on having 6 sections of kindergarten. We are within the class size policy. In first grade, we'll have 7 sections of first grade, and with a class size ratio of about 17 students per first grade class. So those are reversed. We are watching the kindergarten enrollment closely. I did do a look back in terms of volatility of kindergarten. So it's been fairly constant from June enrollment to August enrollment. I think it's been plus or minus 1 or 2. So we have move-ins, but we also have families who leave the community. So I'm pretty confident that the K number is a good number for us to continue to move forward with. In terms of the other enrollments, we also are working closely with Gary Hirschuk at the Trotter School, looking at enrollments in grade 6, 7, and 8. So I feel confident that we are in a good place at the middle school level. And really the areas that are most volatile, again, are kindergarten. And that's something that I'll work closely with Clayton and the office staff to monitor in the next several months and over the summer.
6th grade class is really large, isn't it?
Yeah, the current.
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah.
Can I ask something too as well? Just, you just mentioned the enrollments for next year for kindergarten and the 6 sections. And what would be the plan if there were, to be an influx of additional enrollments by the time of the school year, just given?
So we have held off on replacing a retirement, and for that reason, because we do want to have a place to be able to accommodate another section of K. So the teachers are planning 2 scenarios, one with 6 sections and another with 7, and over the summer we'll be able to decide what the next move is if we have to add a teacher. I will say that there have been some shifts in information around the FY27 budget in special education, not necessarily in the district's favor. So I've been working closely with Becky around making sure we have a plan to accommodate some of the unforeseen expenses that we predict will happen in FY27. So that's been some of the work behind the scenes that we've been doing.
Any other questions on enrollment? The FY26 budget line item transfers.
Sure. So the monthly general fund expenditure report dated April 30th, 2026 represents expenditures and encumbrances incurred from July 1 through April 30th. It's hard to believe there's only 2 months left. The district has expended $17,602,089.23 since the start of the fiscal year, and has encumbrances totaling $7,289,154.50. The current budget balance is $221,542.27. A little less than 1% of the total operational budget. And we have seen an increase of $149,766.77 from the previous month. We did receive some positive news. On April 23rd, DESE did notify our district that we are eligible for circuit breaker relief payments of $201,400.47. And we qualified because we provided documentation that demonstrated that we had eligible circuit breaker expenses in FY26 that exceeded last fiscal year's by 25%. So again, we received approximately $200,000 in circuit breaker relief. That was very helpful. We have to spend that down before the end of the school year, which we are doing. This also potentially will give us some flexibility in the FY27 budget. We were projecting to use $300,000 in FY27 circuit breaker and FY27. this actually potentially can provide some relief to that, which is really good news for us. And then the monthly general fund report has 3 function codes that are currently over budget, and they're listed below. School committee end of year audit report costs. So the budget balance is $1,000. Student activities in the amount of $2,578.67, and additional stipends for student activity clubs. There are some clubs we did not run as a result of some of the expenses. From year to year, clubs do ebb and flow. When we look at the clubs that did not run this year, there's a mural club, there was a gardening club, a fashion club, a talent show club, and a literary magazine club. And again, from year to year, those clubs do ebb and flow. And then lastly, electricity costs, revised predictions of electric costs for the remainder of the fiscal year. So electricity has been pretty volatile in terms of, it was a really cold winter, and we did have to adjust our amount in electricity expenses. So at this point, on behalf of Becky, I request the Southborough School Committee vote to accept the FY26 monthly general fund report as of April 30th, 2026 until audited, and vote to approve the function codes listed above that have been overexpended in fiscal year 2026.
So, Greg, on the first transfer,
Yes.
it's from and to the same account number?
No, 1110.
Oh, no, they're
to
not.
1100.
Oh, they're just named the same?
Correct.
Okay.
One's,
Does it matter that they're named the same?
no.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll look at whether it's, the
So-
correct name. But the accounts are different.
The accounts are different. Okay. That's probably what matters is the number, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So on the third one, electricity,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so when you transfer an amount from a revised prediction,
Mhm.
you could still need an adjustment at the end of the next month, right? Because a prediction's
I
a
mean-
prediction.
I mean, the
Okay,
close,
I mean, I get it.
yeah.
Okay.
And she's just trying to be
Right.
proactive of
I
what she
understand.
knows. Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? All right. I'll move that the Southborough School Committee vote to accept the FY26 monthly general fund report as of April 30th, 2026 until audited, and vote to approve the function codes listed above that have been overspended in FY26.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
Also in your packet is the warrants and payrolls for approval.
Any questions on those? All right, I'll move that we approve the warrants and payrolls as presented this evening.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
Also in your packet is the revolving fund account summary sheet. So when our revolving accounts for food services remains healthy, facilities rental, as you can see, we have an anticipated fund balance of $23,432, which is far less than we typically have in that account. And then extended day remains a very healthy balance. And we are looking at ways to use some of that fund balance from extended day to support the program and also make improvements to the spaces extended day uses. I will note that we did also include the facility rental account expense document that outlines expenses that were incurred as of 4/30/2026. We do believe that there are a couple lines that we think are part of a larger project. For example, the Neary roof architectural engineering and assessment. We are working with the town to see if that can be the part of the overall project that was approved by the voters and recoup that $85,000. And also the Trotter roof feasibility study is another area that we're looking closely at. So the balance is less than we would like in terms of facilities rental. That is an account that we use if there are unanticipated repairs that we need to make with our facilities. But we do anticipate at the beginning of the fiscal year to receive funds from rental of central office space from the town of Northborough. Also receive rental from Aspet Valley Collaborative, who rents space for us. So we should see that balance get back to a healthy number in the next 6 to 8 months. And lastly, we have the preschool early childhood revolving account. I did speak with Becky. Becky is attending a Massachusetts Business Association conference today and tomorrow. I did request that at the June meeting, Becky break down the revolving account. As you are aware, we are separating our preschool program, Southborough and Northborough, and part of that work is really identifying the distribution of the $105,000 to close that account and again separate the two programs, and that will be shared at the June meeting.
Any questions on the revolving accounts? We don't have any educational policy or policy development and or distribution. Next is the distribution of the personnel report, which is in the packet.
Sure, so a few changes to personnel. We have an appointment, a long-term substitute for special education teacher at Finn. A couple of transfers. And then we have a few resignations, SCDV group leader and 2 ESPs. So we are also in the process of hiring for the positions that are open for FY27 budget.
Thank you. No communications, and then we have several meeting minutes to vote on. Does anybody have any edits to any of those? All right, so I will move that we approve the February 26, 1:15 p.m., the February 26, 2:15 p.m., the March 2nd, 2026, March 31st, 2026, April 2nd, 2026, April 8th, 2026, and April 11th, 2026, as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. All right. And any public comment? All right. So our next regular meeting, as we mentioned earlier, is June 10th at 6:30. If you have any agenda items, feel free to send them along. And then we have our combined meeting at 5:30 on June 15th at Algonquin with the region and Northborough. All right, and with that, I will move that we adjourn at 7:52. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Kelly. All those in favor? Thank you. Have a great night.